Happy holidays and Merry Vlogmas. We're getting really close to Christmas and it's almost time for the kids to be out of school. And I don't know about you, but we are heading to the airport and gonna hit the skies. If you're getting ready to travel, I hope it's somewhere fabulous. And if it's somewhere that you have a really long flight, you may need to be thinking about safe foods for your family while you fly. So today we're gonna talk about what to eat on a long haul flight if you have dietary restrictions. We traveled to Barcelona back in June and we could only set our meals to be either dairy-free, vegan, or gluten-free. I think Nick ordered the gluten-free meals and I ordered the vegan meals. And a lot of times the vegan meals had gluten in them, like pasta and things like that. And the gluten-free meals had dairy in them. I mean, they gave us eggs for the breakfast and I thought maybe it was dairy-free, but I took one little bite and was like, no, there's definitely dairy in that. And I regretted that bite for the next 2 days. It did not feel good. But especially for you, if you are dealing with a severe reaction in your food sensitivities or even an allergic reaction, you're not even gonna take the one little bite. So the best thing for you to do on a flight is pack, particularly if you're dealing with multiple foods to avoid, like we do. Now, I've heard lots of people say that whenever you travel, you have to pack snacks, pack snacks, pack snacks. I disagree. I think that airports are doing a great job now offering more and more gluten-free snack options in the Hudson News, the different snack stands. Even airlines are starting to offer great options in their snack choices. And sure, pack snacks, because if you're gluten-free, you've probably always got a bar or something in your bag. But the thing you're gonna need that is most likely to not work for you are the meals. So if you're flying, especially a really long flight, plan ahead. Whenever we went to Israel, I packed this bag. Now, the rules for TSA are that you can bring a soft side cooler with ice packs. They just have to be fully frozen. If that stuff in there, if the gel shakes at all, they will throw this away and you won't have it. Usually I would pack my ice packs in the bottom of a cooler, but remember TSA is gonna wanna check these out. And so you probably don't wanna put them all the way under everything. You might wanna just make them actually the top item. And then once you get on the plane, if you want to pack them deeper so that they stay colder longer, you can. Now this is the TSA rule. However, it is enforced and interpreted by a different agent at every airport, every interaction you have. So it's possible you'll still come across somebody who says, nope, I don't like that ice pack, and they make you throw it out. Hopefully you're packing things that aren't going to be a disaster if the ice pack is missing for a couple of hours. Most of these things I pack are shelf stable. I love this bag because it is big enough to hold enough food for all 5 of us. And with the shoulder strap, I can carry it as kind of a personal item, and it's really, really easy to tote around. But if once you get there, space is an issue, you may want something that folds flat, just ideally something insulated. A bonus thing that I have that's not required, but I think sometimes helps the situation, is these luggage tags that say no dairy, no gluten. In some ways, because this is officially printed, it kind of helps me say to TSA, yes, these are all the things that I need to travel because we have dietary needs. Not that a handwritten note or just telling them that you have dietary restrictions is any less legitimate, but there's something about this that feels official. If you're packing a dinner and a breakfast, I recommend packing it into your bag in layers in the order in which you are traveling. So if you're gonna start out with dinner and then have breakfast the following morning, pack your breakfast on the bottom, dinner on the top. Now, most of the things you see here today are things that I got at Whole Foods. I was trying to think of a place I could go where it's gonna be available most places across the country. We're gonna start with an entree. I packed sandwiches when we went to Israel. I really like shar ciabatta. It's one of the few gluten-free breads that doesn't need to be grilled in order to taste good, and it holds up for a few hours at room temperature. So I made shar ciabatta sandwiches and wrapped them up for each of us. I tried to keep as little liquid in the sandwiches as possible. So lettuce, tomato, avocado, but everything was as dry as possible. I de-seeded the tomato so it wouldn't make the bread soggy and mushy. I certainly wouldn't use anything like tuna or egg salad. As much as my kids love an egg salad, I don't want to be that person on the plane. Anything that has a strong smell is out. But if I'm not going to make sandwiches, I like to think about what are the things that airlines serve and how can I try to recreate them. And I always kind of lean toward the tapas boxes that Delta likes to serve. So I get something like this. Trader Joe's has olive packets and artichoke packets. And with these, you can either eat them as is, or if they happen to serve you a salad, which is very, very often the case on the vegan or gluten-free meals, is a sad looking salad that's really just a pile of iceberg with a couple of carrot shreds. You put this on top and it's a lovely salad. But if they don't have that salad, you can make your own little charcuterie board because you're fancy. I also recently found a pouch of grilled peppers. That would be delicious. I mean, I would eat this at a party. I don't usually pack hummus because I don't want to take anything that's liquid or gel through TSA if I can help it. But sometimes I will pick up a Sabra hummus at Hudson News and just toss the pretzels that come with it and eat it with something else that I've packed. I try to get things that are individually packaged at Whole Foods instead of in baggies, because again, I feel like TSA can look at this and go, okay, that's legit. I don't really need to dig into that. I don't need to open that package. But if it's packaged like a leftover container, sometimes they'll swab it and test it to make sure you're not taking any illegal substances through. So I'm just warning you, I stick to prepackaged things. Maybe I'm gonna do one of these. Such an easy solution. These quinoa meals. I got this one at Aldi. It tells you what the allergens are and also says gluten-free on the front. So this is a little cup of quinoa that can be eaten as is, room temp. And this is a little cup of, this one is a artichoke and roasted pepper tapenade that you dump in and mix it up. Again, this would be delicious on top of a simple salad. It would be delicious on its own. It would be delicious with some of these things on the side. And this is really, really hearty and will stick to your bones and you won't be hungry on the flight. So whether I have that quinoa cup, the charcuterie board, or sandwiches as my entree, then I throw in some kind of side. These individual bags are available at Whole Foods, but these will get crushed to smithereens when I travel. So they're out. But popcorn is much less likely to get demolished, and I really like these plantain chips. So these are the kind of things my family would choose. Then we like to throw in some kind of fruit. So it might be a dried fruit packet, a freeze-dried fruit packet. These are from Target. Even just raisins or an actual piece of fruit. Genius. Try to keep to things that are not too juicy, not too messy, and that aren't going to get destroyed. So as much as I love traveling with a banana, they do sometimes get demolished, and by the time it's time to eat them, you don't want to eat them. Then a little sweet treat. We love Yum Earth for all of their treats. I usually stock up on these at Target when they have them in individual packs around Valentine's or Halloween, and make sure we have them year-round. I did at Whole Foods pick up some of these new Sweet Loren's cinnamon sugar breakfast biscuits. I know they say breakfast biscuits, but guys, it's a cookie. Come on, let's be serious. It's a cookie. It's a hearty package though. So if I'm eating this as a dessert, I'm probably gonna share it, but it's plant-based, gluten-free, peanut, and tree nut-free. That's really helpful. So something I wanted to mention, I was also thinking of packing Bobos. We really like Bobos. We order them directly from the company in giant boxes because my husband cannot get enough of these things, but they're very hearty. You'd be surprised how much one little oat bite really does fill you up for a while. They are gluten-free oats, but a lot of the flavors have nuts. And so whenever I'm on a plane, I do try to be very aware of my neighbors and other allergies that they may be dealing with. So I try to pack the Bobo's flavors that don't have any nuts. I love that these Sweet Lorens say that they are nut-free. I think the only thing in this whole spread that has nuts would be the almond flour crackers. So if I could find a substitute for these, I would make that switch just to make sure that I wasn't bringing any kind of nuts onto the plane and putting another passenger at risk, if I can help it. Okay, we're gonna taste test these right now because I've never had them before. So I'm thinking, if you used to be a Delta passenger, I don't know, even United's using them now, and used to always eat Biscoff on the plane, this could kind of fill that hole for you. This would do it. The cinnamon sugar, they're good. Save that for later. So you filled up your bellies, and if it's a red eye, hopefully you lay down and rest and you sleep through most of the flight. And you don't want to wake up and have to deal with landing, especially in a foreign country. If you're doing customs and all that stuff, you don't want to be hangry. So let's get some food for breakfast. Bobos could work for breakfast because they're basically little mini muffins with filling. They're so good. The apple ones I think taste like apple pie. They're pretty small, but they are really dense. And remember, you're still going to get the food that the plane is serving, which for breakfast, usually if you order the gluten-free meal, you'll at least get some kind of gluten-free bread or roll that you can have, some kind of fruit cup that you can have. And then if they bring things for us that have like dairy in the eggs or meat on them, we will usually skip that and supplement it with these things. At Whole Foods, I picked up these oatmeals from the Gluten-Free Brothers, the GFB. These are plant-based and gluten-free, and what I like about them is that they're so flat for packing in your bag. When it's time to use it, you tear the top off and you pop the cardboard open, and it makes its own little bowl. So you don't have to pour it into something else. You can eat it straight out of the packet. You just have to get some of that really hot water from the flight attendants. Another thing we've done is overnight oats, which takes just a little bit of planning. I even found packets of chia overnight oats. It's a blend of like a chia pudding and an overnight oats at my local health food store. And so when we went to Israel, we took that for one of our breakfasts. And there's a trick to it because you have to make them overnight. So I will take a leftover container with us, something like this, and this is what I'll make the oats in. You're not going to make them in advance because you don't want to take the liquid on the plane. But once we're on the plane, we've taken off and we get that first beverage service and you get water. I'm going to open this up and fill it with water and then add the packet of overnight oats and close it up and let it sit while I sleep on my red eye. And when I wake up, it's ready to go. How do you know that you've got the right amount of liquid? At home, before I leave, I measure out the liquid and pour it in, and then I take a Sharpie and I mark the line where the water goes to. So I know exactly what is 3/4 cup or 2/3 cup and dump that out. And then my cup has its own measuring line. So if you're worried that the flight attendant's hot water isn't hot enough for that instant oatmeal, you can go with the overnight oats option because that can be room temperature water. But my favorite breakfast, and I'm really excited about this, is cereal. I know that sounds boring. And this is one where I actually did just put it in a baggie because I don't think TSA is going to be alarmed at dry cereal. But I pick one of my favorites that I get from Whole Foods. I can even pour enough into a baggie to serve all 3 of my kids because we're going to get a cup from the flight attendant to pour them into when it's time to eat them. And we eat them with our own plant-based milk. You may have seen me on my short where I talked about Joy over on Instagram. This is a plant-based milk concentrate that I love. And this is what we use at home is their cashew milk, like this. But they do have an oat milk powder that comes in single serve. It is labeled gluten-free. It is not certified gluten-free. So if that's a deal breaker for you, this one isn't a good brand. But I'm hoping that they develop some of the nut flavors like a cashew milk in single serve. We had grabbed a bottle of water when we were in the airport, and when I had it on the plane, I said, this is going to be our milk bottle. So I just poured the oat milk directly in there. I just add it right to my bottle of water, and I give it a good shake. And so we use this as our plant-based milk on the plane. We used it to give the kids cereal for breakfast, and we used it so the adults could have milk in their coffee. This one's kind of genius. Because it's not certified gluten-free oats, we only use this one in case of emergencies, like when we travel and there's no other option. But so far, they've been a really great brand. I've ordered from them twice, and they've been really responsive whenever I had questions. I really like them, and hope that you will give them a try. I hope this is helpful. I hope you're traveling somewhere absolutely fabulous this winter break. And if not, maybe you'll find this video helpful whenever you're planning trips in the coming year. Have a fantastic holiday, guys, and I'll see you next time. Happy holidays!